Well, Ryan, we are live here on the Facebooks, the YouTubes, the Twitch, the Periscopes, the I don't know what else, but we are live with Geek at Birth, and eventually I will have us an intro, Ryan.
Sounds good to
Sorry,
me.
I don't have one yet. Like I said, like I keep saying, my technical guy is on Unrelated at Birth, and unfortunately, I don't know the technical side. I need to talk with Adam about that.
Yeah, probably. Might be a good idea for future reference. But either way, we're just here to have fun.
We are. We are. Tonight is going to be a fun night to talk about the things that we collect, what got us started collecting those things. And yeah, so sit back, relax. If you're watching us tonight, please comment, interact with us as we are doing this, and maybe we will put up stuff about your collections when you comment on the feed. So Ryan, you about ready to start recording and to start doing the okay? So we're going to start doing the official podcast tonight, as opposed to the unofficial, one.
Tomato.
All right.
What's the difference?
Yeah, you know. All right, so we're going to do this in 3, 2, 1. And welcome everybody back into another great and exciting Geek at Birth. As always, you've got the one, the only, the golden voice of the South, the human jukebox, Dave Adams, coming to you from the top of the state of Alabama. That's right, in Madison, Alabama, in the Unrelated at Birth, Geek at Birth podcast studios. And as always, for Geek at Birth, I brought along my friend. I can't say the Great White North because it's in the summertime, but he is from north of the Mason-Dixon line. The one, the only, Ryan Permison. Ryan, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for having me. This should be fun. Collecting, collectibles, why did we do it? How did it all start? And why do we continue to do it? All these different feelings, all these emotions are going to be coursing through our veins and as we go throughout the course of the show. And I'm looking forward to seeing or hearing what other people enjoy collecting, whatever it may be, in the comments, in the live chat. I cannot wait because everyone has a different thing and basket and robbing them, and I'm excited to find out what they are.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of a cool psychology or psychological thing. You're in college, so these big words and big things coming out might mean something to you. But I kind of almost want to know what makes somebody collect something. Like, is it something that they're emotionally attached to? Is it something that they're physically attached to? You know, what is the ins and outs? What makes that collection tick? First and foremost, though, man, it's been a couple of weeks. So how you been? How's your mom and them?
Oh my goodness, you and your words. No, I'm doing well. Things are doing quite well, as a matter of fact. I went to certain places this past weekend, and I went to certain public spaces where I wasn't wearing a mask for the first time since this whole craziness started. It felt weird, but I got over it. It was fine. It was fun. And I enjoyed, going to certain places I haven't been to in a very long time. I was having food at one of my favorite restaurants with the GF this past weekend, and it was fun. I had the, pizza from this one place I haven't had in a long time. I had French fries for the first time in a long time, and it was grand. I loved it. Italian food is one thing, but when you have a nice order of well-done, curly French fries that you could just put some salt in them, dip them in ketchup or whatever. It's the good stuff. It's the small things in life you treasure, not just collectibles, but food itself. And it was fun. We had a lovely time.
So while you're on the subject, before we go, we're going to go down this rabbit hole now. You say curly fries. Where is the best curly fries you can get? Because I'm going to go simple. Arby's. I mean,
yeah,
give me
Arby's
a good old Arby's curly fry any old day of the week.
Well, specifically, the place that we went to was called Italian Gardens, and they were fantastic. They are one of the best restaurants in town. I've been going to that place since I was born, because it's been around for as long as I've been alive. What's up, guys? And it's great. I love them. It's great to be back. I miss them all. Granted, the staff has changed over. None of the kids know who I am. The people who are working there now, the teenagers, young adult, they have no idea who I am. But
of course
it's
not,
fun
right?
to be back. It's fun to have the food again after all this time of this crazy time period that we lived in, but we are slowly but surely getting through it. Earth is slowly but surely reopening, and I could not be happier. And I'm sure you, your family, your loved ones are happy as well about that.
Man, you have no idea. I love my house. I love being in with my family. I love being, this podcast studio that I've made. But since everything is reopening, getting to go places, getting to move around, eating with family and friends is really fun. You forget how much you miss it. As a true extrovert here, I enjoy talking with everybody on the internet. I enjoy having this time where we can chat back and forth over Skype or StreamYard, whatever have you. But there's something about a good face-to-face interaction that just warms this extrovert's heart. So
there you go.
But yes,
it's great.
My family's doing well. My girls are enjoying the summer. They, in fact, funny story. I was at work this afternoon, or working from home as I do still this afternoon, and I was done with the meeting, just finished it, and my youngest, my 3-year-old, comes downstairs and says, "Daddy, Ellie needs you to come help her. She's stuck in a tree." So Ellie is probably about 50 inches, somewhere around there. She's tall for a 6-year-old. But she had somehow was coming out of our big crepe myrtle in the front of our house. And one foot was on the ground, and she had her knee around a branch, and her foot was hooked to another branch, so she couldn't move that foot to to where she could get out of the branch and get the other leg on the ground. So I had to physically pick her up, put her back tree, maneuver, get her down from the tree. So,
oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, it was a fun afternoon. Yes, so we're good. At least you heard the story.
So basically, yeah, I heard the story and I got the basis of it. So you basically had to play Superman for 2 minutes and say, "Honey, I'm going to get you down. It's going to be okay. Don't worry. We will take care of this. Faster than you can say blink 182."
Yep, I
that's
basically
the
rescued
first thing that
cat.
came to my mind. I'm sorry.
I basically rescued a cat from a tree, but that cat was my daughter.
I was going to say, reminds me of the scene in Richard Donner's Superman. There you go.
Exactly. All right, so let's just get into it. Let's dive in with both feet. You say you went to a place that you love this weekend, and said place was a comic book store, maybe?
Yes, it was. It was my local comic store. It's called Collector's Corner, the headquarters. They have two stores. This is the headquarters one. And I've been there in 18 months. I've ordered a few things from their Facebook Live sales they did during the early stages of the pandemic, but then that sort of went away. And I was there, and I got to say, they're still in the process of making some renovations to that place, and that's okay. They still got some things to work out, but it's all good. It was great to be back because there were so many things that I was in there for 2 straight hours, and yes, I knew some of the things I wanted to get ahead of time, but other stuff I didn't. I was looking around. I was browsing, seeing what they had. They had tons of Funko Pops, tons of action figures, tons of other things that I can't afford, such as complete Megazords that I'm begging to get. But I ended up, still ended up with two movies that are hard to find on any sort of format that I've been told, such as James Cameron's The Abyss, the Chipmunk Adventure that I grew up on as a child. Found that on VHS for $4. There you go. And yeah. And I got some more trade paperbacks that are going to keep me busy because I got a stack of books / graphic novels that are in my closet a mile high. So, yeah, I found some cool stuff.
Do you still have a VHS player?
Yes, I do. That works, and I still watch movies on VHS. I have a number of movies here that you can't see, but they are on this bookshelf that should be used for books, but instead I use it for VHS tapes and DVDs.
Impressive. Most impressive.
That's I see what you did there, but yes, thank you.
Yes. So let's get into it. So if you had to put a phrase on your collection, what do you collect, and why do you collect said thing?
If I had to describe it in a phrase. Boy, this may be longer than a phrase. I think I'm going to describe it in a few sentences. Is that okay with
Well,
you?
that works. That is
Okay,
totally
because
fine. It's your
I
show
don't know if I
too.
can.
So
That is true, but I don't know if I can describe something within a single phrase or a few words. But anyhow, so here are the things I enjoy collecting the most. I enjoy collecting movies because I love to watch movies. I enjoy collecting movie posters because certain movies have a certain effect on me. And if I'm a big fan of that property or that particular film, I will do my best to find an 11 by 17 sized version of the poster respectfully. Let's see, another thing I like to collect. Oh, I don't know, something you enjoy collecting. Funko Pops, that sort of a thing.
just a
There's
little
that. And
bit.
I also, just a little bit. And I also like to
Just a little
enjoy,
bit.
and I also enjoy collecting action figures, whether they are in a box, whether there's some of the more modern toy lines that are out right now. For instance, the Lightning collection of Power Ranger figures from Hasbro, the Black series of action figures of Star Wars. I have a number of those. And also, I like loose figures, stuff that you don't have to worry about keeping in a box or have to take out of a box. Like for instance, I enjoy collecting loose Power Ranger action figures or VR Troopers, which I found this weekend at my local comic shop. So VR Troopers action figures that are loose, those are hard to come by, and I found Ryan, Caitlin, and Darkheart, which is one of the enemies, one of the Monster of the Week type
Right,
of
right.
action figures. Found those three in a bag. So there you go. Got those at my local comic shop, and
Really?
I don't regret it. Yeah, I don't regret it. And by the way, I wasn't the one who found them. My GF was walking by a couple of boxes. She looked through them. She's like, here's this. Do you know what these are? And I'm like, I've been looking for those. Oh my gosh, thank you. So I was very happy that she found them. And I said, yeah, I'm buying these because I've been looking for these and finding these loose. I want them loose. So there you go. I got them. And it was great. And now I got more trade paperbacks that I'm going to be reading over the course of my summer reading list. Here they are on the camera. Injustice, Gods Among Us, Year
Ooh.
1, the complete collection with Super Loop and The Dark Knight beating the holy heck out of each other. And then you got Infinite Crisis by Jeff Johns with the DC Trinity on the cover of Super Loop, The Wondrous of the Women, and The Dark Knight himself. What's going on here? Well, you got to read the graphic novel to figure that out. And I'm going to be reading that over the summer. So there you go. Those are some examples of some of the most
So
recent pickups that I got.
the Arrowverse, if you watch CW, DC,
Mm-hmm.
did a couple years ago did the Infinite Wars.
Or they did Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yes, they did.
So they did that, and then I think the year before they did Infinite Wars, didn't they?
I don't know about that, but they did do Crisis on Earth X.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. But that's I've gotten into that, and in fact, a buddy of mine said that CW is not for us. The CW is for stay-at-home moms and soccer moms, and they water down DC. But I digress. I enjoy the CW and talking about all that. So, what got you into collecting comic books? What was your first comic book that made you realize that that's something that you want to collect?
I am so happy you asked because I didn't become a comic book fan / reader until 4 years ago in the year of our Lord, 2017, during a special holiday known as Batman Day at a comic book store that is an hour away from where I live. My BFFs, my best friends said to me over the years, they said to me, you got to check this place out. It's a really cool store. We think you would like it. If you gave it a chance, you might enjoy it. So we went to Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, Maryland, and we went to Third Eye. And as soon as I walked in there, the employee came up to me and she says, is this your first time here? Have you been here before? Or is there anything particular you're looking for? And I said, actually, this is my first time here, and I'm not really sure what to read or what to go for. So would you mind giving me a tour and giving me the lay of the land? She says, absolutely. So I walked around the store, and then she points me towards a rack of graphic novels that are for beginners, for new readers. And she says, if you're going to get into graphic novels, these are some of the first ones you should start with. So I went ahead, I bought a few, I brought them home, I read them, and then I became a comic book fan. I read the Batman Day special that they gave us for free. I read DC Rebirth was just kicking off at the time, so I read issue number 1 of that respectfully. And after that, I was hooked. I said, I want to read more of this. And some of the first graphic novels I read, which started me getting into collecting and wanting to read more and more comics / graphic novels, were DC's Flashpoint by Jeff Johns and also Kingdom Come by Mark Waid and Alex freaking Ross, who is probably the boss of artwork when it comes to comic book / graphic novels, because that guy, Oh my gosh. I mean, this guy's like all the best artists of the Renaissance era put together. The guy knows what he's doing. He's a beast from the East, a monster of the West. And I'm just making this up as I go along. But it was fantastic. And I started reading more and more. And I just bought 6 more trade paperbacks last night during a Facebook Live sale for a comic book shop in West Melbourne, Florida. That's like 1,000 miles away from here, called Famous Faces and Funnies. And if you haven't heard of these people and you live in the Florida area, get yourself to Famous Faces and Funnies in West Melbourne, Florida, because that place is going to melt your face in the best way possible. And Rick Shea and all you guys over there, you guys rock. I'm telling you, I've bought so much things from them. They've broken my wallet. They have made me flat dead poor, but I love it. I'm one of the,
flat dead poor.
You make me poor, or you make me buy all these things, and then I look up at the say, "Thank you, sir. May I have another?"
All right, Kevin Bacon.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's the bee's knees. It's great. It's wonderful. So yeah, it's those are some of the stuff I've read, and I've read so much more since then, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. And for those of you who know me, Brian K. Morris, I'm looking at you. Because of Brian K. Morris, I got a stack of books / graphic novels on my desk / man cave closet a mile high, because there's just so much to explore, so much to read, so many characters I want to learn more about, so many characters I want to become a fan of if I'm not a fan of them already, respectfully. It's great. I love it.
Yeah. So since you are into comic books, I do need to ask you something, because if you saw this on the Unrelated at Birth group earlier, I think it was yesterday, DC has decided to pull Superman out of the Justice League. What are your thoughts on that, sir?
I actually didn't hear about this.
Yeah.
So the higher-ups, if I'm hearing you correctly, the higher-ups at DC and DC Comics decide to remove Superman from the Justice League entirely, from the lineup itself. Does this mean he's not going to be in the Justice League at all moving forward within the comics and the live-action properties?
So in Action Comics 1035, Superman's decision-making comes under fire from the rest of the team after he takes ownership of an abandoned war world weapon. This occurs after Superman prevents an all-out war between the U.S. and Atlantis. Presumably, the way that Superman halts the fight is by intercepting the alien weapon, keeping it from either group. Being the superhero that he is, Superman does what's right, taking Warworld's extremely powerful tech out of hands, and then he flies off. Let's see. DC solicited information and cover for Action Comics 1035 hints at a major consequences, with a newspaper on Kent's doorstep reading, "Superman out of Justice League."
Well,
first of all, the cover art. Yeah, hold on. The cover art for the issue teases Superman's leaving from the Justice League, with the issue summary hinting at the reasons Kal-El may come into conflict with his teammates. Superboy and his mom, Lois Lane, are seen with sad expressions on their faces as Superman flies away.
Well, yeah. I just lost some of my credibility because I'm a diehard Superman fan, and even I didn't know about this. That just goes to show you how little I know about life. But
it just came out yesterday, so you're forgiven for that.
Thank you, Dave. I hope the audience has changed. New writers come in, new artists come in all the time. So this isn't permanent. This is probably going to be temporary for a few months or a year, however long, whoever was it, Brian Michael Bendis or whoever else is writing Superman right now. So go ahead and do it, fine. But at the end of the day, Superman for me is always going to be a member of the Justice League. He's always going to be one of the leaders, maybe not the main leader, even though there's a little part of me that thinks he is. But in reality, the Trinity itself is the leader of the Justice League. That includes the Batman and the wondrous of women known as Wonder Woman, by the way, and Superloop. Yep. They are the heart, they are the soul, they are the rock of the JLA and Justice League, in my opinion. But wow, removing him from the JL, that's a what am I trying to say here?
That's a big
gutsy.
That's a big
move,
deal,
I should say.
Yep.
It is a big deal. Do I agree with it? Heck no. But then again, I haven't been reading any of the current run of Superman Plus. I've been hearing it's been getting a bit of a mixed bag amongst critics and audiences. So I don't know if I want to dive into that well just yet. But hey, you run is over and he'll be back in the JLA and everything will be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It's one of those things that DC is already coming into some hot water because they're being sold by I guess by AT&T because they're part of the Warner Brothers stuff, and to do that could really hurt your readership, I think. So, but anyway, so
Yeah, that is true.
you're
That is true.
yep. You got your comic book, and you say you have some of these figures. Do you have them handy to show?
Well, some of the loose figures that I've acquired recently in the last few weeks, unfortunately, I don't. But I do have something that I've been looking for a very long time, and I found this, or excuse me, I bought this rather, many months ago, and the seller was very, very nice to me about it. And this is something I've been looking for almost 30 years.
Oh wow.
And it's something that I didn't have when I was a kid. I never had a chance to have it in collection, much less play with it when you're a 6, 7-year-old boy. So I bought this from him, and I was so happy. To me, this is one of the holy grails of being a collector and finding something that you've been just itching and dying for. Now, for those of you who grew up in the year of our Lord, 1993, and you watched a little network called Fox Kids, and there was a little indie show called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that melted every boy and girl's minds and made them want to learn karate and be the best red, blue, yellow, black, pink, green, white ranger you could possibly be. You want to say we need dinosaur power now, and you want to pilot that thing? Well, guess what, boys and girls? I got the original 1993 Megazord right here in this box, complete with all the Zords, the whole shebang, the power sword, the Mastodon shield. It can go into tank mode. It can go into Megazord mode. I got the whole enchilada, baby. And let me tell you, when I took this baby out of the box, assembled it together, and I played with it, going back to when I was a 6-year-old boy, when this show came on the air and knocked me on my keister in the best way possible. And by the way, thank you, Ron Wasserman, for the great soundtrack of the 90s, because without you, we would not have X-Men theme, we would not have Power Rangers theme, amongst a million other things that you've done in your respective career. So yes, I have the Megazord, and I don't regret buying it whatsoever. It's going to be with me to the end of my days. Even if I get the Soul of Shigogan Megazord, version of this, I'll have
Shigogan?
both. It's called Soul of Shigogan Megazord. It's sold overseas, very hard to find here domestically within the US of A. But if I ever find that version of the original Dino Megazord from 1993's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, to be more specific, if I have that, I will buy it, and then I will have two. I'll have the original version and the rebooted version of it, and that would make me even happier than I already am if I can't be. So finding this, owning, having it, having the chance to assemble it into tank mode and play with it in Megazord mode or whichever, it's more phenomenal, Dave. It's more phenomenal, and I don't regret it.
So are you a in-box guy, or are you take it out of the box and play with it guy?
Depends on the toy, or depends on the collectible. Excuse me.
I was gonna say they're not toys.
You are a toy. No, I'm just sorry. That's from 1995's different movie that we can't talk about because that's from another House of Mouse. But even so, most of the time, it depends. It really depends on the collectible. Sometimes I will take it out of the box. Sometimes I will keep it in the box. But I'm not opposed to taking some of the newer stuff that I own, such as the Black Series or the Lightning Collection. I'm not opposed to taking them out of the box. I just haven't yet.
Yeah, well, I'm an out of box collector. My buddies
All
are
good.
not. They think that Funko Pops deserves to stay in their box because let's face it, and this is part of what Funko Pop is cool with, is the box itself is a piece of art. Because
yes, it
they
is.
sometimes they'll put. In fact, I will go get this while keep talking for a moment.
Oh, yeah, sure. No problem. So while Dave is getting one of his collectibles, because I'm trying to be proper and use the right words and terminology here on this very program that you are either listening to or you're watching us, and we really appreciate you being with us. Yeah, it depends on the collectible. Sometimes I'll take it out of the box. Other times I'll keep it in the box. It really depends. It varies from property to property or collectible to collectible. But Dave seems to want to share something with us. Dave, do you have this in your possession?
I do. So this is my Haunted Mansion pop. This is the New Orleans Square
Oh, yes.
Haunted Mansion from Disneyland. But what's cool about it is I have taken this out of the box. But what I love about it
Sure.
is the back of the box has the Haunted Mansion wallpaper. And so I have displayed the wallpaper with the Haunted Mansion itself. And I've got a whole Haunted Mansion shelf up here for my Funko Pops. For at least the Haunted Mansion ones. So the thing that actually got me into, yeah, dude, it's so cool. The thing that actually got me into collecting Funko Pops, especially, is my buddy Kerry Loney was, he doesn't do it anymore, but my buddy Kerry Loney has a huge Funko Pop collection, and when he started showing it to me, like my first ones were wrestling Funko Pops, and I just bought the Young Bucks just to have because they're cool, and it just kind of morphed into there. You see what I did there? Morphed as you did the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But so I started. I want to say I started in 22. Actually, I bought the Hot Topic Bullet Club Young Buck, and probably 2 weeks later, bought an Undertaker set. My daughters got me a couple of Star Wars pops, and then it just started going from there to where, at one point in time, well, no, even now, I'm looking at my collection. I have upwards of 150 Funko Pops sitting here on the shelves, and they range anywhere from wrestling to Disney. I've got Harry Potter. I've got Avengers. I've got the Joker. I showed you a couple weeks ago, the 1989 Joker. I've got
love that.
all. That's such a good one. All the Michael Jordan pops they make. I've got baseball. I've got NASCAR. I've got all the Saturday Night Live pops. I've got all the NSYNC ones. All of the Anchorman pops. So I am what you like. There are two different types of Funko Pop collectors. There's completionists who will go and get like all of a set. So my buddy Kerry was a completionist before he sold his entire set. He had all of the Office pops, and he had every WWE pop that they ever made. Needless to say, he made bank when he sold it. But I'm one of those weirdos that I prefer to just buy things that I enjoy. Like, I don't have to complete a set. I'm not going to buy a pop that I care nothing about just to complete the set. I'm going to buy just things that I enjoy, like the Disney stuff. It is almost impossible to be a completionist with Disney because there's so much Disney for Funko out there. And so I'm just going to buy the things that I'm interested in and that my girls are interested in. Just because, let's be honest, yeah, I'm a big Disney guy, but I also do it because my girls enjoy coming down here and watching it. Although I did get mad at my daughter a couple weeks ago. I came down and she was playing with them like, no, they're not toys. They're collectibles. I need to not put the Disney ones at their eye level. But yeah, no. So yeah, another thing I collect, and this is something that Funko's a big deal, but one thing that combines both of my passions, which is collecting and sports, is every baseball park I go to, I buy a hat. So I've got upwards of 20 Major League ball caps, and I have a massive hat collection as well. So that's why every time you see me, Ryan, I'll probably have a different hat on. Tonight.
One for each day of the year. Good on you.
No, I wish. Tonight we are repping the local Rocket City Trash Pandas, the minor league team for the Angels. So there you go. Ryan, are you frozen? I do believe Ryan is frozen tonight, y'all. So if there's anybody out there watching us, what do you collect? Do you have any collections that you would enjoy to talk about, or are you just enjoying us talking tonight? See, Ryan's gone. Where did he go? No one knows. We'll find out later. Next on Geek at Birth. What happened, sir?
Oh, you get.
He's frozen again.
The kids can't get to him and say, "Hey, those aren't toys. What are you doing?" You know. So,
yeah. So is your internet having some collectible issues tonight?
maybe so. I've been showing off too many collectibles, and it's saying, "We don't want you here. Get off this camera." I don't know, but you know what, man? Listen, lesson learned. And the next time we do this, this will not happen on my end.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, tonight has been a fun issue of learning how to do internet. Hey, Ryan, you're back.
Yeah, thanks. So when did you start collecting Funko Pops again? What was the year?
2018. So not that long ago. I just started.
Okay.
Yep. So kind of close to the same time you started your comic book collection.
Oh, well, there you go. It works out better for both of us.
Yeah, exactly. So what what goes on in your mind when you start collecting? Like, is it something that kind of ties you to childhood? Is it something that you just want to have to look around? You say you collect movie posters. What type of movie posters? Is it just movies that you've seen and kind of connect with in a deep emotional way, or what makes you want to do that?
Yeah, I would say it's a combination of movies I enjoy, they have an emotional effect on me, or movies I just enjoy that I feel like I want a poster to add to the collection just because I like the movie. I may not like it as much as other films, but I do it because I like it. It's fun. And, each film is different. Like, since, Indiana Jones, I collect those posters because I cosplay as Indiana Jones. So it only makes sense. Plus, Last Crusade was one of the first movies I watched growing up as a kid. So my hat's off to Harrison Ford and Sean Connery. You rocked it. 30 plus years ago. My gosh, I can't believe I'm getting too old for this. But anyhow,
we're all old, man.
Yeah, I know it's killing me. So yeah, stuff like that, or stuff from the Universal monster movies, or Alfred Hitchcock Psycho, because I finally got around to seeing some of the older classic films to enhance my film education because I love movies so much. I bought posters from that and stuff like that. So yeah, I do it because I really enjoy the film or I have an emotional connection to it. I mean, like certain posters I take a little bit more seriously as collectibles than others, but yeah, for example, Field of Dreams. I love that movie to pieces, and now that I have the poster,
such a good movie.
Makes it all the more special. So yes, it is. So speaking of
dude,
Father's Day movies,
yeah. If you don't shed a tear at the very end where he just says, "Hey, Dad, can we have a catch?" You have no soul.
That's a good point. It's a good point. So yeah, posters like that, posters from the old school films like the Universal monster movies like the Wolfman and the Invisible Man, and what's another one I really like? Creature from the Black Lagoon. You got, oh my gosh, so many of them, so many. Oh my gosh, what's another one? Casablanca, one of my all-time favorite movies. So yeah, I got a bunch of posters from all types of different films and properties. I mean, heck, I got the Power Ranger poster from the 2017 reboot film that I love so much. Granted, that's an underrated film, and it should have made a lot more money, but the studio had to put it sandwiched between the Beauty and the Beast live action remake and Logan, aka Hugh Jackman's on song.
Yeah, Logan was good. I'll give you that. You back?
Yeah, I see it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. What we might have to do is we're just going to let this run, and we're going to post it and everything that's there. We're probably not going to send this out to podcast land, but we're having a good time here tonight. It's all good. It's all good. Look, this is the internet. We're not a professional podcast troupe, and it's okay though, because we're doing what we love. We're talking about things that we love, right?
Exactly.
And that's all that truly matters. We hadn't even gotten into talking wrestling yet. That's another thing I love, as you can tell by my Hell in a Cell t-shirt in Disney font. But guys, that'll do it for us tonight on the YouTubes and the Facebooks and the Twitch and the Periscopes. Guys, we appreciate you joining us tonight. Even though we haven't got many comments over here, go ahead and, if you see it during the week, drop a comment. Tell us what you collect. Tell us why you collect the things that you collect, and we'll interact with you in the comments. Ryan, where can they get a hold of you if they want to talk to you about your collection?
Yes, sir. You can find me on Twitter at RyanPM5, and also check out our YouTube channel on all forms of social media at It's Nerd Culture. New videos are being posted each and every week. We just surpassed 600 plus subscribers, so thank you very much for that. So check us out there. Also check out my podcast known as check out the podcast known as the Nerdcast, where I talk about some of the latest movies I've had a chance to see. It's on Anchor, Google, Spotify, wherever you download your podcasts. You can find me there. In the meantime, we'll do a better job next week with no technical difficulties whatsoever.
Yeah, don't promise. So don't overpromise, because you never know what happens in the internet universe. But anyway, check out my other two podcasts. Top of the World is a Disney podcast. I've got Unrelated at Birth with Adam Russell, the phenomenal brother Adam Russell. You can check me out on Twitter and Instagram at dadams419. And guys, just remember, it's okay to be a geek. We'll talk to y'all later.